The other day when I was talking about Mike D'Antoni and the Houston Rockets, I mentioned the fact that Houston could be at risk of losing James Harden very soon. And the reason being, the Rockets aren't in a position to win an NBA title right now. With Harden only having a few years left in his prime, and the Rockets strapped for cash because of the massive contracts that both James Harden and Russell Westbrook have, James Harden's only chance at an NBA title is going to come outside of Houston. He's going to eventually want to be traded to a legitimate contender. The NBA is a different league than any other professional sports league. It is the only league where the city that you play in matters. It's the only league where superstar players essentially run the team. As great as Tom Brady is, he was never the commander in New England. It was Bill Belichick. Same with Drew Brees in New Orleans. Sean Payton is the captain of the Saints ship. It's not like that in the NBA. LeBron James is running the Los Angeles Lakers. Steph Curry is running the Golden State Warriors. The players have the majority of the power in the NBA. Signing a guy like Steph Curry to a contract worth $35 million a year is considered essential in the NBA. In the NFL, signing a guy like Aaron Rodgers to a contract for $35 million a year severely impacts the ability of the Packers to sign and get help around him. In the NFL, the market that you're playing in isn't as important as it is in the NBA. New Orleans, small market team, is a highly coveted free agent destination in the NFL. Right now, because Tom Brady is in Tampa, all of a sudden, it's attractive to play for the Bucks, a franchise that has been an absolute eyesore for the majority of their existence. That's not the case in the NBA. You remember when LeBron James was in Cleveland? He couldn't get anyone to come play with him. NBA players didn't want to go to fucking Cleveland to play. You had the best player in the world on the roster, and he couldn't get free agents to come there. I believe that's the primary reason that he left the Cavs for the Lakers. I bring all of this up because the Milwaukee Bucks are at serious risk of losing Giannis. Actually, I'll go ahead and say it. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to lose Giannis. It's not a matter of if, but when. They're either going to have to trade him or lose him in free agency next summer. But one way or the other, Giannis won't be playing in Milwaukee past 2021. I know this is a painful scenario for fans of the Milwaukee Bucks, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It is going to happen. I watched it happen with Dwight Howard in Orlando. Watched it happen with Anthony Davis in New Orleans. Both guys wanted to leave small market teams for the bright lights of the big city. Neither of those guys are close to the talent that Giannis is, and they still left. Giannis is facing the same problem in Milwaukee that LeBron dealt with in Cleveland. He can't get other superstar players to come join him. Who wants to go fucking play in Milwaukee? That's damn near worse than Cleveland. Who is the second best player on the Bucks roster? Chris Middleton? He's a good player, but you're not winning an NBA title with Chris Middleton as your number two, as your Robin to Giannis's Batman. I said this the other day. Once these guys in the NBA make their money, once they receive all of the individual accolades that they can get, the All-Star nods, the MVP awards, Defensive Player of the Year, whatever the fuck. Once they accomplish all of those individual things, they know that they've got to have the ring to cement their legacy. No matter how much they like playing in Orlando or New Orleans or Milwaukee or Cleveland, if they know that they can't win a title there, they will go somewhere else to get it. That is the situation the Milwaukee Bucks are facing head on right now, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. The NBA postponing its season could not have happened at a worse time if you're a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a worst case scenario right now. The NBA, I believe, is going to resume its season at some point, but what are the playoffs going to look like? This is the most important postseason in the history of the Milwaukee Bucks franchise. It is NBA Finals or bust. What happens if the NBA has to shorten the postseason? Maybe have 5-game series throughout the playoffs instead of 7-game series. It creates a situation in a 5-game series where it is easier to pull an upset on a team like Milwaukee. In a 7-game series, 90% of the time, maybe even higher, the better team wins, the more talented team wins. In a 5-game series, those odds go way down. Take a team like Boston or Toronto. In a 5-game series with Milwaukee, they still maybe game 1 or game 2 in Milwaukee. Now the Bucks have to travel to Toronto or Boston and steal a game against 2 of the best home teams in the league. So the pressure is going to be on the Bucks to, at a minimum, make the NBA Finals. There's already immense pressure in the playoffs under normal circumstances. Add to that the added pressure on the rest of this roster to excel, to make it to the NBA Finals, to entice Giannis to stay. And the pressure of possibly playing in 5-game series instead of 7-game series. It is a recipe for disaster. Added distractions, the questions from the media about the future of Giannis while they're trying to win playoff games. It could be a tough go for Milwaukee in the playoffs. The pressure is going to be at an all-time high. An even worse case scenario is if the NBA cancels the season altogether. If that happens, you can kiss Giannis' ass goodbye in Milwaukee. He is eligible for the Supermax extension this summer. A 5-year deal that would be worth around $254 million in total. KC, how could Giannis turn down that kind of money? Fact of the matter is, he will turn it down. If the Milwaukee Bucks don't show him in the playoffs that they can contend for an NBA title, he will turn down that kind of money. We've already seen a handful of superstar players turn down the Supermax extension. So it is not a rarity for it to happen. The question is, where will Giannis end up if he does decide to leave Milwaukee? The Bucks aren't going to let him walk away and get nothing in return. We just saw last year the perfect way for a team in Milwaukee's situation to handle it. The New Orleans Pelicans received a core nucleus of young players in return for Anthony Davis. In the past, a franchise loses a player like Anthony Davis, and they go into a period of a rebuild for 3, 5, sometimes 10 years. The Pelicans are contending for the playoffs this season. It took the Orlando Magic 7 years to make it back to the playoffs after Dwight Howard left them for Los Angeles. Where can Giannis go and immediately contend for an NBA title? The truth is, there aren't many teams in the league that can put together a good enough trade package to get him. There isn't a trade package really that any team can put together to replace Giannis in Milwaukee. He is irreplaceable. But there is one team that can make it at least doable. And that team is the Golden State Warriors. I think that Giannis will be playing in Golden State to start the 2020-2021 NBA season. Bleacher Report did an article, I think it was last week, theorizing trades for every team in the league's superstar player. Now, the article was in theory only. This was nothing concrete. This wasn't reporting. It was just theorizing where guys could be traded to. But they had Giannis going to Golden State in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, a 2020 first-round pick, 2021 first-round pick that the Warriors got from Minnesota in the D'Angelo Russell trade, and a 2022 first-round pick. That was Bleacher Report's trade package to get Giannis to Golden State. That's not going to be enough. Milwaukee will take the draft picks all day long. They'll take Andrew Wiggins, but they're going to want more. Golden State is going to have to throw in either Draymond Green or Klay Thompson. And I think it'll be Draymond Green. They're going to get an elite defender with Giannis. He does everything that Draymond Green does, but he does it a hell of a lot better. And he has more size. I have never been a Draymond Green guy. I think he gets more credit than he deserves in Golden State. People always say, Draymond Green is the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors. Bullshit. Heart and soul is a way to describe guys that are the least talented player on a super talented team. If Draymond Green played anywhere other than Golden State to start his career, the casual NBA fan wouldn't know who the fuck he is. The Warriors have been pursuing Giannis quietly behind the scenes for years now. Getting him to Golden State would start a second wave of the Warriors dynasty. Kind of similar to what the Chicago Bulls did in the mid-90s when they went and picked up Dennis Rodman. Then Michael Jordan returned and they went on another three-peat. Very similar to what the Bulls did. Giannis would also give Golden State a superstar to build around once Steph Curry and Klay Thompson exit the prime of their careers. Steph Curry's 32 years old. Klay Thompson is 30 years old, coming off an ACL injury. Both guys have a shitload of minutes on their bodies. 5 straight years of deep playoff runs to the NBA Finals. Luckily, they both got a break this year because they've both been injured most of the season, but they've only got a handful of years left of prime basketball. Giannis is only 25 years old. By the time Curry and Thompson are exiting their primes, he'll be 28, 29, or 30. Giannis to Golden State is a strong possibility. I think it will happen this summer. The only thing that will stop it from happening is if Milwaukee finds a way to win the NBA Finals this year. A tough thing to do under normal circumstances. I think it's going to be even harder for Milwaukee if the NBA shortens the playoffs and they're playing in 5-game series. All right, that's all for today. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. Click that notification bell to receive all updates from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think. Do you think Giannis will end up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in Golden State next season? Let me know what you think. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. You can send your questions to BTLKC84@gmail.com, and I will see you guys next time.